joining today. And thank you for Confindustria for organizing with us this webinar. Our goal here is to provide value for the participants. It's very nice to see, some known faces, some new faces as well. And will be also very nice to catch up afterwards if you need some additional information about what we shared. And we really hope that you will find it useful. So as you know, IT Selecta started as a recruitment agency where we want to put people first, both our candidates and the company that are working with us. So we have a strong partnership with them. And 3 years ago, we actually merged with another recruitment agency called Octopus Partner. And we decided to broaden, our services by creating, the talent solution. So not only recruitment, but with the same aim to provide a great service, we started to provide other services such as trainings. So we provide training for IT recruitment that are held by my co-founder and business partner, Bartek Lenartowski, that actually are being used by companies and also sometimes by other recruitment agencies. And together with that, we also offer other services such as HR trainings, where we cooperated with, great consultants that they have the same spirit and the same values that we share at IT Selecta. This is the case of Bartek Skura, that I want to thank for being here and for providing value by sharing information about very important topics such as the cost per hire. He will be sharing with you valuable insights, and I really hope that you will find it useful. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much, Bartek. I hold it to you to explain the webinar. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Alessandro. So the same from my end. I am really very happy that you have joined and really respectful that you find the time to spend some time with us. Agnes, also thank you for inviting us from the Confindustria side. It's really great that we can collaborate together. And today I will focus on, as Alessandro mentioned, our topic, which is like hiring costs in Poland for employers, and also about the cost per hire. And I know that we have a diverse audience today as well, because I know that some of you are coming from internal structure of particular companies, and we have also some colleagues that are most likely running the business in Poland as foreigners, as a people coming from Italy and being part of this organization. And for that reason, I believe that it would be great if you could also somehow mark which industry or each department you are coming from. And what I would suggest, and it will be like also something that we will provide during the session webinar, that we will switch on Mentimeter, Menti. I believe that you are aware of the tool when you can vote and let us know which option are you choosing. And the first one, we could start with, let's say, recognizing what companies, what industries you are coming from, so we know how to adjust the agenda or maybe some topics to be valid for you today. And I know that this will be like providing a lot of information today, but we have also decided that in the end of the day, we will also give the space for answer a question session in the end, when you can ask a question. I will be happy to answer, Alessandro as well. And at any time of this webinar, please also feel free to add any questions to the chat, and we will park them. We will answer them in the end. And when it comes to myself, my name is Bartek. You can call me Bart if you wish. For those who are not coming from Poland, it's usually much more easier. But I noticed that for Alessandro, it's not a problem. Call me Bartek. So I believe that for other Italian colleagues, it shouldn't be a problem at all as well. And I have 20 years of experience in HR area, but mostly what I am interested in is the process improvements when it comes also to standardization, harmonization of HR processes, and I always try to be close to the business. So for me, the most important that I try to combine those business related matters and transfer them to the HR language and opposite revert as well. So I hope that I will focus more on some concrete example today rather than the fluffy discussion, because I believe that in the end of the day, it's something that most likely you are looking for rather than just having like the some quotas that don't bring anything additional to the business. And it would be my suggestion for today. I will share some presentation before we start checking who is with us today. So I will share my screen. I will go to our presentation for today. Just let me know if you can see it.
Yes. Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so maybe at the beginning, as Alessandro mentioned, I would like just to stress out that Alessandro is the owner of 3 legal entities right now, as he mentioned, like IT Selecta Talent Solution. We can see that we have like, there is like IT Selecta Talent Solution Group when we have IT Selecta Talent Solution for multilingual recruitment, IT recruitment mostly, and also training and HR development consultancy. There is Octopus Partners, which is like dedicated mostly to production recruitment, and there is a close collaboration, as I discussed with Alessandro, and I noticed with big well-known companies in Poland as production companies, as for example ArcelorMittal, and there is like AI Selecta, which is Poland's first recruitment agency, and that was created. And if you write even in ChatGPT which recruitment agency is the first, you will get this confirmation. So this is like also confirmed by artificial intelligence here. Regarding the Menti and which departments are you coming, what I suggest right now, I will be switching to Mentimeters from time to time, because there was some technical issue to connect those tools, but it won't influence our conversation and webinar at all, I promise. So what I would like to show you right now, it's some Mentimeter. I hope that you can see my screen right now. And the first thing what I would like to ask you, if you could put this code, if you can go to menti.com website, if one can do it, like open on your browser the menti.com and use this code, which is written here. So 89931531. Just let me know when you will be ready. Oh, so it's working. So if I can ask you to just fulfill, and we can see representatives from which departments or company do we have, it would be great. I can see that there is a competition between HR colleagues and company owners. Okay, I believe that one just voice is missing, if I'm calculating correctly. But okay, but in general, we can see that we have representatives from 2 groups. So we have company owners and HR people. So I know that for some of you, some information might be, let's say, a repetition of the thing. So please excuse. But I believe that, for example, if someone is running the business, not for them, such a topic as employment contract, even we repeat it, it's like very, very important. If even the information from some HR people might be very well known and common. So let me switch to the presentation back. And Yes, and let's go to the Poland market overview and what this workshop will be about. So, as you can see, we have prepared some general information about the Poland market overview. And I know that even though you are coming from different industry, there are some general information that might stress out where do we stand when it comes to Poland and what potential the Poland gives. So you can see that in Poland, there is like still a leading IT hub in EMEA region. So Poland has established itself as a top Central and Eastern Europe hub for IT and business services, but not only. But this is just the example to show you how much the trends are creating the value of the Poland and how many IT specialists, as an example, we are having here. So it's more like 500,000 right now. We know that their market by end of 2025, it's going to be close to 32 billion revenue when it comes to dollar currency. And we know that there is a lot of services that are still investing in Poland, even though we know that the company are cutting costs, looking for some specialized, let's say, methodology to cut off the cost of hiring and invest maybe sometimes in less cost generating country in Asia Pacific. Still, Poland is on the top when it comes to EMEA region to invest in. And we know that based on the research and Gartner's data from 2024, the average cost of turnover globally. This is just not for the Poland because such a detail this discussion and detailed calculation hasn't been done yet. It's more than 18,500 US dollars. So you can see how much does it cost for the company to lose the employee, which is like significant cost. And we can also see that average cost per hire due to the researchers from 2024 as well. Globally, it's $4,700 in average globally, which is also pretty high. So what we would like to stress out during the today's workshop and during today's presentation is, for example, how the costs are established in Poland, but also how you can reduce it, being a HR person or being the owner of company, how those costs can be reduced if you look them from the macro perspective. When it comes to hiring model, why hiring model generals in Poland matters. You can see that in Poland, as I mentioned, this is like repetition for most of you. The most common contracts that the companies are offering is employment contract, B2B contract, and service contract. And you know, you have advantages of each of them, depends who you are looking for, who you want to start the collaboration with, and at which stage exactly you are at the current stage in your company. How fast you are growing, if you have some temporary needs, or if you have like constant needs to hire people, depends what kind of employment contract or B2B contract, service contract you are dedicating. But as I mentioned, here is a lot of possibilities to mixtures those contracts together. Employment contract, if people are going to invest in Poland, usually we have to take into consideration that we have to add additional 20 to 25% of additional cost on gross salary, which is pretty important because the gross which you are paying when you are looking for candidate, it's not only the gross that you will be charging on monthly basis, but there is like a lot of taxation and cost for employer. So each time if you're running the business, you have to add additional 20-25% of additional cost to the gross salary for the employee, and also those all social contribution are required. When it comes to contract relation, B2B, very well known in IT. However, due to the current situation, there is like the common and higher need for people and growing need, what I'm observing also to stay on employment contract compared to 5-6 years ago, when there was like a strong willingness to be on the B2B contract when collaborating with some company. But when you are deciding for this model, you have to take into consideration that what you are paying to the contractor, it's not just the net fee, but you take into consideration the VAT, but there is no additional payroll taxes. This contract is also sometimes when companies are starting collaborating with contractor, have this value that if you don't want to, for example, spend the additional money for paid leave or benefits, whatever it's like in addition to employment contract, this is not mandatory to provide it to contractor. However, I know that this is good practice to give it, and majority of companies still do that. And the service contract is for student under 26 years old. In Poland, this is like the general rule that net pay equals gross pay, and there is like zero employee contribution tax exemptions. But important thing here is that if you are hiring people under 26 years old and you are willing to start with them the long-term collaboration after they graduate or they extend the 26 years or border, that from the motivational point of view, if you give them, let's say, a significant increase in gross salary, still the income for them, the net salary might be lower than they were receiving when they were students. So this is like pretty important to take it into consideration from the motivational point of view, to think from the long-term perspective what you would like to offer to such a person, or what kind of investment to such rule you would like to give in the future, so you don't, let's say, put you on the hot spot when hiring students under 26 years. This is pretty important. And as I mentioned, those two employment models we have in Poland, we will show you also some cost comparison. We have also another forms of contracts, but those three are the most, let's say, common and usually used when starting collaboration. And there shouldn't be even the employment models, but it should be like more like collaboration models when I'm looking at this right now, because remember, B2B contract, it's not employment service. Service mandate contract is also something different. And for cost management, some company mix the model, and this is from our experience the most common thing. If we are mixing the models, so we are starting collaboration with people on employment contract, B2B contract, and mandate contract as well. Usually company mix those all models together. And when it comes to employment contract, umowa o pracę, this is something what we can share with people that will be interested, especially for employers, owners of the company, if you would like to have like the general overview. But there is like the clear explanation that if you are paying gross salary in PLN to the employee on employment contract, which is 10,000 gross, for example, then you have to take into consideration the pension contribution, disability insurance contribution, accident insurance, labor fund contribution, guaranteed employers benefits fund as well, and employee capital plans into consideration. And you can see that, for example, after adding those all amounts, you are not paying, let's say, generally the cost for you won't be 10,000 Polish zloty, but it will be like more than 12,000 Polish zloty. And this is something what we take into consideration. And the same when you go to the table below, it's employers and employee contribution, to show you how many percentage for each particular contribution type the employee and employer are paying. And this is just to summarize. As I mentioned, we can share it in the end, so no need to go into the details. I believe that the most important will be the next part when I will switch to cost per hire. B2B and service mandate contract, just to summarize, if we have the mandate contract, cost salary 6,000 Polish zloty monthly, and there we are talking about student under 26 years old. The net 6,000 that we are paying for employees gross in the contract is also 6,000 Polish zloty. And when it comes to B2B contract, if we target the next 6,000 PLN, we can see that 6,000 is excluded VAT. So when we are assuring an invoice for such a contractor, the amount of the invoice is 6,000 Polish zloty plus VAT, which is in case that our contractor is VAT payer. This is also important thing to remember. And understanding cost per hire, this is something what we would like also to stress out today and focus on, because I believe that this is like extremely important to track the cost per hire. Why we have decided to talk about it? Because we know that there are a lot of companies are still in the need of hiring people, but also in the need to decrease the number of the cost they are investing in it. So this is why this topic was chosen. And we would like to give you some examples, answer your questions, also during this session when it comes to cost per hire. Cost per hire has a really simple calculation. So you take within your company the total recruitment cost and you divide them by the number of hires in a given period. It can be, for example, cost per hire for total recruitment needs during the year. You can calculate cost per hire for particular rules that, for example, you have the biggest challenges with, or the let's say recruitment positions that you know that are generating the highest cost for you as a company. Either you are owner or you are HR person. And I know that this topic is really a lot of time missed. We are going for recruitment. We are starting hiring people. And sometimes I believe that taking into consideration all this experience I had in different kind of organization, global organization, not every company is tracking this cost per hire. In the end of the day, you can't imagine how big cost they can generate. And this is what we would like to help you understand. And we have external cost and internal cost that I strongly advise to look at when we are talking about cost per hire. And we are talking about external cost, job advertising. I believe that this is the first thing majority of the companies are going through, the job advertising. Yes, let people aware who we are looking for, where we are looking for, in which area, and let's see how many candidates will apply for this position. And we know that there is also some local sites that we are using, some LinkedIn posts that can be also somehow boosted and paid, and we have LinkedIn advertisement indeed that we can use. Direct advertisement spent for job posting and promoted listening, it's all in this category. We have agency fees as well, calculated as external cost, because usually agency are used during some significant period of time. And usually it's like 16 to 25% of the new hires annual salary. And I am talking from the basic salary of the candidate, but I am talking about Polish market, because for example, in UK, the usual success fee for agencies are 30% of candidates annual salary. In Japan, it's 35%. In US, it can differentiate between 22 and 30%. So still compared to our colleagues in different regions, the fees offered by the agency Poland are stating pretty low. let's say, still are expensive, I understand, from the perspective of the employer, but much more competitive than in other regions. In this external cost, we have also assessment tools, background checks as well. So, you know, sometimes you are looking for the people in IT, using some significant, let's say, specified test at platforms, as for example, ShowX, when you can test Java developers, .NET developers, and see where do they stand with the particular technology, what is their knowledge. Sometimes you know that some companies are requiring the background check screening. So they want to check if the candidate applying for the finance position, accounting position, or when they have like the direct connect with the finance, and where is like potential risk to lose the money or leak of the money, they use the background check screenings also in Poland. And referral bonuses, it's also, even though it can be considered as somehow internal cost, they are set up when we are looking for the position. So they are not constant cost. They are usually paid when we are referring someone. Employee refers someone to work with the employer. In the nutshell. And we have all internal costs that needs to be taken into consideration. So recruiter compensation. So for example, if internal recruiter fills 20 roles per year, there is an example, and the salary for the cost for the recruiter is 120,000 zloty per year. It's like 6,000 per hire. This is a significant internal cost. Hiring manager time, it's also something that company are not taking each time into consideration. And this is very important, because if we know that someone can spend of technical interview or reviewing not suitable candidates for 5 hours per week instead 2 hours, 3 hours are spent in the wrong way that can't generate the revenue for the company, especially if the position of the manager is revenue generated directly connected for sales or marketing rules or production rules, logistics. We have also onboarding and training costs. Not every company is calculating this, and this is not what I would encourage you to do at the beginning if you haven't, for example, calculated the recruitment costs before. You don't have to use it, but this is when you have more sophisticated systems to track it. You can also track onboarding and training costs into that, and also all the tools that you are using internally for recruitment. So ATS costs that you are paying for application tracking system on annual basis needs to be taken into consideration. Any software licenses, if you have LinkedIn recruiter license, for example, for recruiters or for hiring manager, please calculate it, because it's also influencing the cost per hire. And annual cost can be, of course, divided by the type of hires. What I would like to ask you as well, if how many of you have used so far calculating the cost per hire? And for this purpose, I would go back to our Mentimeter presentation to check if you track in general the cost per hire. And please be honest, there is no one will judge you, but it's very, very important to look how we are looking at this. Okay, so we can see that out of the group of all people who are attending today, there is just one company which is like calculating. One is planning to implement it. I understand that sometimes you don't have to have the knowledge if this is already tracked, if you are coming from different department, totally get it. But we can see that also we have representatives that are not focusing on this right now, but on other metrics. And let's say if you are hiring, for example, 1-2 people per year, I can totally get it why it's not tracked, but it becomes an issue if you are hiring a lot of people on annual basis, and then, for example, this KPI might be missed. There it might be like the significant overlap of the processes, and this is like then I believe that it should be must to track it if you have like a higher number of recruitment needs on regular basis and compare it year to year. Where do we stand if we decreased our cost per hire? And also I have question to you colleagues when I come to the previous slide. What costs do you think are most often overlooked when calculating the cost per hire? If you could write something in the Mentimeter right now, what cost besides what I have written maybe might be overlooked when we are calculating cost per hire? It can happen that I have covered those which should be there, and time of hiring managers for sure. Yes, this is like something what I have based on my experience. It's a lot of time just missed. It's not taken at all into consideration, and not only time of hiring managers, but also from guys from your technical team or your colleagues from production engineering teams that, for example, you ask to participate on the interview with the candidate, for example. This is always not often not taken into consideration as well, and I believe that it should be the case. Time from the tech team, exactly. Training of the new employee, it's also overlooked. Yes, training cost, exactly. Exactly. This is all. This someone might think, or companies sometimes think that automatically if someone is joining, this person is prepared for just jumping on the agenda. Onboarding is very short, and the training costs are really overlooked. And the training cost is also on job training. So this is also something what internal employees are spending of the time they are spending with the new colleague. Great, great. Let me come back to our presentation when we discuss the internal external costs. And there is some example I have prepared for you. So for example, if we have internal cost, you can see at external cost and the total. And internal cost, how we calculate it. If we have recruitment team compensation package, for example, at the 240,000 annually, let's take into consideration that we are talking about two recruiters that are working on this on hiring in organization. We have hiring manager compensation calculated based on the hours they are spending on different recruitment processes. Training and development costs, which are on 10,000 zloty calculated, and employee referrals. Let's say that we have hired a lot of candidates through referral program, and we spent like 30,000 Polish zloty annually on that. And we know that we are paying annually for application tracking system, our system for tracking candidates annually in the company, 50,000 Polish zloty. That's one point, internal cost, and then we go to external. So we know that we spent 30,000 on job board posts. We spent 180,000 on recruitment agency fees for 3 or 4 crucial position for us. We also paid for relocation costs. We move someone from the different city. Signing bonuses. Signing bonuses are sometimes used with the company, especially if MCG sector of pharmaceutical sector. If someone is joining us, for example, this person is getting some additional bonus like motivational part to in the offer letter to join our company. Background checks, so we were checking if there is any criminal record, financial record from the beginning, coding assessment through the external system, and job fairs, because we were also hiring some new entry-level position. And then we came to the cost of 890,000 zloty, and we know that we hire 83 people. So the easiest way to calculate it is to know that our cost per hire is like around 10,000 Polish zloty, so it's like more than 2,000 euro per hire. We know that or more than 2,000 US dollars for sure, and we know that the average is like 4,700 globally. And sometimes if you start to calculate it, this is for what you can have right now in 2025. But then through some improvements, you can see where would you land in the end of 2026. And you have already building your internal benchmark if you don't have internal one. And what I would also advise, not everything needs to be here. Look, if the company is not using background check screening, signing bonus, no need to even put them in the simple table in Excel, even though if you start with such a tool, it's very important that you will think from the macro view. What all costs are generating your cost per hire from internal and external perspective. If you don't use recruitment agency, even don't put this category because it doesn't have any sense. But if you see that something is missing here, but it's also something that generates costs in recruitment area, please remember to put it as well. This is what I would generally advise. And I have a question to you, and I will switch to the Menti again to another question. If you don't measure the cost per hire, what is the main reason? Is it lack of data or tools? It's not a priority for leadership. We measure the other metrics instead, or not sure how to calculate. Okay, so we can see that there are two options that we mostly are observing in our group. It's rather not being sure how to calculate it, or lack of data or tools to do it properly. And I totally understand that sometimes lack of data or tools might be like really hard, but in the end of this session, I am happy to answer how you can solve it. If you have any questions, it would be great. But at the meantime, I will show you also some kind of, I hope that inspirational things, how you can look at those things from your angle, even if you are not having the proper tools, how to make it in the simplest way. And also not sure how to calculate it. So I hope that after this session, at least you will have the general overview how to look it from the different angle. And also I want to understand, okay, this is these things we went through. So coming back to my presentation, and I want to show you what are the main reason why company don't track cost per hire. What we are pretty often missing, companies are not measuring cost per hire and they miss the opportunity to optimize spend. This is the first thing. So this is what was also marked here. So without data, you might continue really spending money in the wrong way and not looking at the sourcing channel that isn't yet bringing you a good hires. And also what is important that if you had such opportunity, but of course it depends on the tool as well, to break down cost per hire by source, you can relocate budget to most cost effective sources. And what I would like to stress out here, for example, there is sometimes companies are going directly to advertisement, local advertisement, because they are in the rush, starting posting, starting looking through their own database, engaging a recruitment agency, hiring manager is not patient enough to wait, or you know that you need the person for the within 1 week, 2 weeks time, and you become stressed about the situation. You have the client which is very demanding, and you know that the current employee is on the sick leave. You need to replace it quickly, and sometimes you might overlook it. So it's very important that it's taken from the strategical point of view. Look at the recruitment, and what is very important to see historical data, observe historical data. If there is such an option, for example, which sources so far brought you the biggest added value, not to panic, but really focus on those which can be invested in rather than spending on 10 sources. Choose 2, 3 that will be really solid for you to bring the particular person on board. How to do it, I will give you some hints and tips on the next slide. Also improve process efficiency. It's very important. So if we track internal recruitment hours per hire and cost, we might see that, for example, engineering rules are consuming huge interview time. So this is the way where I usually stop, and what I would also encourage people to do is look how to improve this process. So for example, if we know that, for example, we are spending too many time on interviews, is it something that we really need to do? Is it something because we have delivered the wrong candidates and the technical team is just forced to interview them, but we know that, for example, they are just partially fulfilling our requirements, but we want to try with the candidates? Maybe we are expecting that they might surprise us. From my experience, majority of them won't. And what is also important, sometimes we are, for example, organizing incredible high number of interviews even for individual contributor roles. Instead, having like 2, 3 interview steps, companies are doing 5 to 7. And this is something what I was working on in the past as well, when we decreased the number of, in the previous company, the number of recruitment steps for engineering rules, JavaScript developers, .NET developers from 7 to 3 recruitment step. It's possible, but you need to invest the time in it. But in the end of the day, you will save money. Also, I strongly encourage to justify investment. So HR or owners of the company can use the cost per hire data to make the case for new tools or staff as well. Employers can decide, for example, what tools will be worth to bring on board, and also benchmark and improve. So as I mentioned, you don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. If you compare yourself to you on regular basis, it's enough. And sometimes it's also, you don't have to wait to the end of the year to compare it annual, to make the annual comparison, but sometimes you can even compare quarter to quarter in particular area, and make it like really simple calculation to see if you are progressing or not progressing in particular area. And I have a question to you also using the Menti. how many of you think about creating persona or ideal candidate profile before starting even recruitment for the role? So I want to ask how many of you are thinking about the profile of the person and do the analytics, what person will be the most suitable or what will be the ideal candidate before even starting the recruitment process? Okay, so we can see that it's also divided and we have different responses. We have companies that do that, some companies that rarely, sometimes for hard to fill roles. What is important and what I mean by candidate persona? By candidate persona, I'm not thinking about creating the job description. What are the requirements? Who we are looking for? What let's say what experience and background, educational background, the person should have. But by defining the candidate persona, I am thinking about creating the vision or the description of ideal candidate that we can adapt all our recruitment campaigns and our EVP and employer branding to. So what I want to, I would like to give you the example. We in one of the previous companies, we were looking for sales representatives that were hard to fill because we were also expecting some ERP experience within this group, and we were at some point using advertisement, collaboration with recruitment agency. We were also trying to collaborate with some external partners, universities, to ask them to support us writing to their, let's say, graduates. We were also creating some LinkedIn, Facebook campaigns to gather as much CV as possible, and we stopped to do it. Instead of that, when we were discussing this and we implemented such approach to spend more time on kickoff meetings and analyzing internal and external data. So in that particular case, we have analyzed, because it was like high volume recruitment as well. This is important to mention, that it might be even much worth it to do it in case that you are having some high volume recruitment processes. We have defined what we really need by analyzing the previous data, our internal data that we are having in our company. We start to look in the details who is currently working within existing teams of sales representative, and we were describing who is the most successful person working with or is the most successful people, employees working with us for longer than 1 year time, and also those who are with us between 6 and 12 months, so graduated the full onboarding program. And we started to analyze what kind of industries those people who are the most successful were coming from, what kind of backgrounds, educational background they were having, what kind of previous experience that they were having as well. And we added a significant, a lot of analytics into that. This is like just the example. And creating, so we created such a persona when we describe that, for example, we are looking for someone who is having up to 5 years of experience, between 2 and 5 years of experience coming from particular companies, and even we listed the companies. So small, mid-sized companies that are implementing either the ERP systems to the local clients, or are coming from the IT integrator company from the mid-size. We have also justified that those people who graduated, who had minimum bachelor degree are the most successful, and we also look what kind of degree they were having. We took particular features into consideration, and we, based on it, we create the, let's say, ideal candidate persona, because we know that ideal candidate is not, let's say, existing. And we also, but we didn't also want to skip, this is what I want to stress out, the candidates who differentiate from this group, who is different, who is can bring the added value to the team. This is not about the discriminating other candidates, it's important, but we needed to really speed up our process and address it properly. We also noticed that there is a lot of women within the group who were coming back, who are very successful and were coming back from the maternity leave after the longer break because of those analytics. So we created all the employment, let's say, employer branding and recruitment strategy, which were exactly directed to potential group who are fulfilling our requirements. So all the job postings and the let's say texting context in the job postings we were addressing to attract exactly this group of people on the job market. We were also making sure that we are using channels which will approach the candidates that we are really interested in. We were using the wording that we potentially were expecting that they would react to. And we really spent a lot of time of such a discussion, preparing such a strategy with the managers during the kickoff meeting. So gathering as much information about the existing team with hiring manager to fulfill our pictures. So this is why the kickoff meeting, in my opinion, is the most critical and very important to spend enough time of planning. And then once we set up the all recruitment campaign, which was dedicated not to all candidates on the market, and we save a lot of money because we haven't used the advertisement and the cost on the platforms and job boards that we know that wouldn't work for such a group. So we were just focusing on LinkedIn posting, LinkedIn, let's say, advertisements. We skip all the local. We were advertising just there. We were approaching particular candidates through the direct search. We save the money and we decrease even number, let's say, the days to fulfill position from 48 working days to 30 working days per candidate, which was like significant improvement. So this is what I am encouraging you to do, to really think about the candidate persona using your historical data you have in the organization. And if you don't have such a data because you are looking for a niche position, I would also spend enough time with hiring manager or thinking as an owner of the company who I really need within the company, who is really going to generate the revenue for me, rather than this person is leaving, so I need to fulfill it with similar profile. Each time, please review your company is evaluating. So each time we are in the different stage. Someone is leaving after 3 years. It doesn't mean that we need the person exactly with the same competencies that the person we hired 3 years ago. The business is evaluating. So you should think who you need, what skills are you missing in the team, and really spend enough time or scratching even those things which are not relevant to you, not important anymore. And please choose not all the requirements, like 10, 15 requirements, 20 requirements, but I believe that the exercise that you will point out 3 to 5 the most important requirements for position is better than having like 20 requirements per position. Then you have bigger chance to address the recruitment campaign to the correct candidates and choose the tools to bring them on board in the right way in the shorter period of time. I have covered this data-driven profiling. I believe benefits of persona planning, EVP alignment. So with the EVP, so all the cultural things, values, it's also important that you will add this feature into consideration. And this is why I was asking you about the persona, if you know what candidates you are looking for. But I believe that I hope that this, what I have shared with you, it also show you something from the different angle. I hope so. Okay, being conscious about the time, I would need to speed some areas, even though I know that I could talk about them longer, but maybe I could even close it with 10 minutes, the most important things, and then I will be happy to answer your question, because I prefer interactive, and Alessandro knows that. So let's do it in that way. Time to hire and cost of vacancy position. This is also important. So, for example, there is a lot of questions in the past that I have been given. For example, what can be a strategical guide for employees when we are talking about time to hire and the cost of vacant position, how to calculate and so on. And for example, for recruiters, how can I calculate what it would bring from the company if I close the position within 40 days, not 45 days? So how can I explain it? So the easiest way that I would suggest for you guys is, for example, calculate the revenue that the company is doing on annual basis, and how many employees they have during the year in average. So for example, if we had such an example I'm showing you here, that we had 120 million Polish zloty revenue during the year, and we had in average 600 employees, that's 200k PNL per employee per year. So it's roughly 900 Polish zloty per workday. So the vacant position cost, in average, this is simplification, of course, 900 zloty per day, and this is lost opportunity. So for example, if it takes 40 days to fill, that's in average 36,000 Polish zloty that we are losing because this position is not fulfilled. So for example, if we can hire in 20 days, we are cutting this by 50%. So for example, for people from HR who would like to bring new ATS on board that can, for example, cut down the time to offer of some new advertisement, job boards, anything that you believe that will bring your candidates quicker on board, or even, for example, minimizing the number of recruitment steps that will help you to, let's say, decrease the number of the days to fulfill the position. I encourage you to use this calculation, because this is the easiest one. And for the decision makers, it might be important. And also for company owners, I believe that it's this is something what company owners are most likely, based on my experience, aware of. And this is how the company owners are looking at their benefits on regular basis. So they are aware how much it can cost if they don't have the position fulfilled. For talent acquisition people, usually HR people, time to fill and time to hire, time to offer and time to hire are two KPIs that we are looking at. But time to offer, it's much more easier for HR people to control and measure, because we don't, notice periods are different in Poland. So we have like 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, depends on the type of the contract. And time to offer, it's really showing and expressing how efficient the people were. So the cost per vacancy often far exceed the recruitment cost. This is just added to the previous slide. And making the case also external providers versus internal costs. So for example, sometimes depends on the let's say recruitment, it might be more efficient to involve external provider if you at the beginning of recruitment process know that it won't be possible for you to fulfill the position. And I would give the example, if we are looking for some really niche ERP consultant on the market, sometimes recruiters know and owners of the company know at the beginning of recruitment process that it will be very, very demanding to find the people, because they have met already a lot of candidates, they know the market, they have reached out to many of candidates in the past, they know that they have limited budget and so on. So in that case, you saw on the previous slide how much it can cost, like 1 day of vacancy that can be that it's open, not fulfilled. Then what I encourage to do if you are deciding to work with the external provider, because you know that they have some network and data of candidates, from historical data, look, this took me 90 days, it will take me like 120 days to fulfill this position by myself. So each day costs that amount of money. And I know that to calm down somehow myself or my stakeholders, I will need to invest in job boards. This amount of money I would need to spend time or direct search. This part of money, you can calculate those easily, and then you can see that if you have agency that is able to provide you such a person within 30 days instead of 120, then you calculate how much this 20%, for example, of placement fee will be of annual salary of candidate will be compared to the cost that you will have when the position is vacant for 120 days. The calculation is easy. But when you use the agency, also take into consideration that I encourage you to take someone who is also having the technical knowledge and can really screen technically the candidates. This is like very important. Because it's also saving the time of the technical team internally, not spending time on recruitment which is not needed. And I know that I am referring a lot of for technical IT, but the same counts, of course, from the production company, logistic companies, anyone. I don't want to discreditate here anyone. I want to stress it out. I'm just giving example, but the same will work for production company, for some niche position of mass engineer, for example, in the production company. This same rule is here. And when we are having like technical screening and ROI, I would say that sometimes let's say internal hiring looks cheaper, but as I mentioned, but the speed and quality of agency can fulfill quicker. So this is just the summary what I have said on the previous slide. And strategies to reduce cost per hire without sacrifice quality, guys, also very important. So if you think about your strategy, this is cost per hire, it's only the result of all activities that you are doing on daily basis. So I encourage to leverage employee referrals. Employee referrals, it's really great, but I know that, for example, you have also some, if this is the bigger organization, it can be a solution of if you have already a lot of niche position on board, that it can work. But I believe that if you are running like 10 people organization, 5 people organization, this referral program might be not the best choose for you, but why not? Maybe if you have someone within your team and you can give some kind of extra bonus to this person because they recommended someone, why not to talk directly to your 5 the board members about such an opportunity? Also can work. Build talent pool pipeline. So it's very important, for example, that if we are looking for the niche position on the market, to set up the let's say our process in the way that we will be also looking from the long-term strategy, how to reduce time to hire and how to reduce cost per hire. So if you had such an option, for example, to engage people on regular basis and the potential candidates, I would encourage to do it. Also optimize job advertising spend. as well. So for example, this is something what I believe generates a lot of cost. And I know that we have different kind of, let's say, experience from the past. Hiring managers, company owners can be used to have some collaboration with the job board representative, but sometimes it's just because we believe that it will increase our employer branding if we will post of X or Y job board, but it won't bring you the efficiency. The thing is, if you want to invest in it, or for example, you just choose one, which you define at the beginning based on the persona identification, and you will invest more time in it. Sometimes less is better. And I believe that job advertising, in my opinion, it's one of the things that we can really save the easiest money. And I am not saying that we should definitely stop making the job advertising, but do it smartly. There is a lot of ATSs, for example, application tracking system, which are offering the free integrators with Indeed, Google Jobs, and so on. So I believe that this is very important that we take into consideration the general cost at the beginning of budget planning, rather than, for example, splitting everything in separate rows in the Excel and investing in everything. I would definitely spend more time on this exercise. Outsource smartly as well, so use the agency that you know that you can trust and you can invest, who will help you with technical interview. Also improve screening as assessment. So think, how many steps do you really need? Is it something that you need more recruitment steps because you are not convinced to the candidates, or really need more recruitment steps because, for example, people are not available at particular time and the candidates it's waiting for the second person to meet with. And what is also important, I believe, it's also looking at salary alignment, at expectation at the beginning, because this is often when offers are rejected, at which is also extending our time to hire and cost per hire. It's offer that we don't, let's say, we don't pay enough attention at the beginning at the salary alignment at expectation. So I believe that it's very important that we calibrate the salary expectation early using external, internal data, and really, let's say, spend more time on planning. Once we start, we would be 100%, let's say we will be minimum 80% sure that we are able to find the proper candidate within salary ranges that we are offering. And retention, this is very important. So we really need to pay attention that we should take care about existing employees, because each turnover time, it's more like in average globally $80,000. So everything what can help us to avoid losing the talent and spending the cost per hire is very important. What I would also like to add here, because I am currently working as a global business partner for Info Consulting, the company which is providing IFS solutions. This is ERP system. So I will give you the example how we are calculating this currently in my company, and we try to be lean in it. So generally, as you can see, we are having globally around 300 people. In Poland, we have more than 150, and we are calculating cost per hire globally, and we are calculating cost per hire in Poland. What we take into consideration, we capture all the recruitment spent in our IFS finance module in our ERP system. So from general ledger, cost centers, projects, and link them with ATS, and we have implemented started right now the new one, which is Recruity Talent, which is helping us to combine those two systems to calculate the proper cost per hire by country and rule. So we are measuring this, and we have also created some competency matrix if in our system in IFS, when we are looking at the skills, language availability, and also we are reducing cost, recruitment cost by looking at the skills, languages, and availability of the people and giving the chance to be promoted and developed internally. Sometimes we come to the conclusion that we promote someone and we will open the less cost position in other team. It's also working in our case, and we started to use sophisticated Power BI dashboards combining ATS and IFS for time to hire, cost per hire, pipeline, and projects profitability. And we are not a big HR team there, just to let you know, because we are like 5 people globally for this organization. So it's just something what is extremely important for us to look at the cost, and we are looking from the cost perspective. So this is from the HR perspective, but also from the owners and people in the project management. This approach is very, very important that we start to hire, because what we save on the hiring, we can invest in people development or giving the people additional possibility to be trained in other area, or other motivational system can be implemented. So the most important that it equals 0 in the end of the day. So this is something what I wanted to provide you. I know that there was like a lot of speech from my end. I was speeding up, but I am happy to open the, let's say, discussion right now. And feel free, if you want to write in the chat, or if you would like to. Okay.
Maybe a point from my side, Bartek, like I already, I'm familiar with those content that you shared, and thank you for the value provided. I must add that also from our side as a recruitment agency, we noticed the difference when Bartek mentioned, sometimes agencies are considered like a cost, not an investment. But I think that thanks also to Bartek's presentation, you can also understand, the value of that more, as it's more clear and not always straightforward to be understood. And when it comes to tech test, we had the situation, like what Bartek mentioned before, why it's important to work with skilled recruiter that have the technical competencies, not only in the IT area, but as Bartek mentioned, also in production and in other, other sectors where this is required. We had situation with American clients that, they asked us to interview again a candidate that went through the processes that was kind of homework, the classical tech test. And basically using AI tool now is very easy to, or not, it's possible to pass this kind of test, right? So they asked us to interview the candidate again that was sourced directly by them. And by having a couple of interviews from our team, we got the fact that the candidate didn't have exactly the competences that from the tech test was visible, basically. As Bartek mentioned, he's also co-founder of our IT Selecta, that is the first, Poland recruitment agency focused on this kind of roles. And more, I think the market would be focused on those. And I think it's also important to calculate the cost per hire, considering the introduction of all the new, I would say, the new possibility to work and improve that you have at the moment. So just the short now. So thank you very much, Bartek, for the presentation.
Yeah, of course, but I would like to understand, because I know that, for example, I'm looking from the HR perspective, even though I believe that personally I try to be always very close to the business. But of course, I show you some examples, for example, how we can look at the things also when presenting something to the business, also from HR perspective, for example, when it comes to time to offer, or for example, when it comes to calculating the recruitment cost. I have the question, if you will be, of course, open enough and brave enough to ask the questions to the owners of the company, for example. Is there something that, for example, you would be particularly interested in regarding this topic? I don't know, when it comes to hiring cost per hire in Poland. Is there something that, for example, we could also cover or deliver some kind of materials or answer your questions? Or maybe everyone, if you have some question from the example, or if you are having some live examples in your company that you would like to share, you don't need to say if this is from the current company, you don't need to go to the details, but maybe you can have some question that we can advise on. I would also appreciate.
Maybe just one short comment from my side, Bart, because hi, I'm Justina. Hi, everyone. Justina from HR department. I work in the recruitment team at SD Works. No questions so far, but thank you very much for the really valuable information in terms of calculation of recruitment costs. No questions so far, but it gave me a solid basis for the reflection. How do we approach in our company the recruitment costs? To be honest, we don't calculate them. So we use different resources to find the candidates, also agencies, job boards, of course, internal resources. But so far, there were no reflection on our side how much are really the costs. So yeah, I think it's time to start this discussion and consider if the current solution bring value or maybe we should change them. Yeah, so thank you for this session. It was very, very interesting.
Thank you, Justina, for this. And I believe that this is like also our rule, more and more expected from HR in organization, to be exactly these advisors in also cost saving, taking into consideration the current market situation and the business situation globally, that we will be, let's say, supporting. And I believe that it generally can bring, let's say, this way of thinking about the cost, how we can support business in it, like that we are partnered on this side also to bring them the business on the different level, not only from our perspective, by also from different. And I let's say I had this possibility to work in different companies and let's say learn, but it was because I was also lucky enough to be in the organization that, for example, gave me this possibility to learn such a things that I am happy to share right now with others. Yes, because not always like companies are doing this. I am fully aware, but if I weren't based in the companies that are looking from this perspective, I wouldn't be here with you today. Yes, as well. So I want to stress out, and I keep my fingers crossed for you, and I believe that I hope that it will be helpful. But feel free also, we can stay in touch and we can discuss if there will be anything else on LinkedIn or, you know, no problem.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Agnieszka, Alessandro, would you like to add anything else from your end? I wanted to be really strict to the point and take into consideration the time. So from the time perspective, I believe that we are pretty okay, because it was 15 minutes for the discussion, yes?
Yeah. Bartek, if you can share maybe the contact details just for everyone who participate. We really wanted to thank you for being here, and also valuable that you stay with us until the very end, because I'm conscious about the time, especially in Thursday morning, and would be happy to provide you with the first free consultation. Now, if you could please, Bartek, share the contact details, or you can simply contact us at info@itselecta.com. That's our general email. I will type it here, and very happy to have a consultation about, you know, cost per hire or any other, methods where we can support you with recruitment or any other topics, very happy to discuss. And feel free also to connect with us on LinkedIn. Also, I want to take this chance to really thank Confindustria, especially Agnese, for all the patience and all the help and support provided, and everyone else present in the call.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Bartek, for all the value provided, for your time, and always happy to continue cooperation with you. And thank you very much for that.
Oh, of course, anytime. Agnese, thank you very much. Agnese is great person. I have met her, first time I have met her, she's like very open. She's extremely open-minded person, very friendly, very supportive and smart, and happy to collaborate with you. Agnese, really appreciate that you have invited, that you have dedicated this time to us, and really appreciate it. So thank you for that. And also I want to add something that because I mentioned about it, I don't want to do any selling activities in addition. But if there is an owner of the company, for example, from Italy in Poland, and I know that there are a lot of them like this, I am really convinced in the tools that we are currently using in my company, like IFS in info consulting, ERP system, which is really well known for production, construction industry, and so on, help with a lot of processes, including this cost calculation, financial, and so on. I can also advise. This is like more for the owners of the company that have been here. So just to add it, and I hope that you don't take it in the wrong way, but I wanted to stress it out because I can also support in this area. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone, for being with us, and wish you a nice rest of your day.
Yes. Thank you a lot. Thank you, Agnes, Alessandro. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Really appreciate it. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Bartek.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.